How's everyone's day going? How's Meskula been treating everyone?
For me, it's been good. Lately, I've been getting a lot of people that are telling me, just text me the information. So
Hmm.
that's been happening a lot lately, which wasn't happening in the beginning.
Yeah. So I guess people are really starting to be interested. I mean, I live in Clarington over here, so east of Toronto, and I'm finding with the better weather, a lot more inventory. People are starting to think about what to do. Also, which is really, really good. Are you getting some really good success from, texting them once you give them the number? Are you still like following up with them? Are they still kind of engaged with you?
I kind of get stumped a little bit with the texting because I don't really know how to handle it. So far, when I have tried, it hasn't gone that well. But other than that, like for the ones who don't tell me that or just text me, I've gotten some better results. But the ones that say just text me, they're kind of like a little rude. So I kind of get like a little like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I can tell you is this is what I've learned from doing numbers and stuff. So when I first started, I gave them like, you're trying to find the right way, right? You're trying to pave the right path. So people would tell me to text them and then you would send them the information, right? I would send them a whole report like that would take me 20 minutes to do. Like, so the problem is this is what I find. People are not happy if you give them the report or they're just going to ghost you after, or they get upset that they don't have a report. And I mean, at the end of the day, what I've learned and what I've been seeing with these Meskula leads is I find that either there's three kind of ways that these leads are, coming through. One, they're just about to put their house on the market with another agent. So they're trying to get another valuation to see if their agent was right, right? Number two, people who are just in that information stage are kind of just starting. And those are the leads that we want because, when you're thinking about selling a house, you don't wake up and just move the next day unless you have to do something for work or family or life, right? So those are the leads that are gold because they're not really talking to anyone. And if you can convert them properly over the phone or through, connecting with them and getting them on the phone, then those are really solid leads, in my opinion. And then number three, these are people that are just transactional based, where they just want a number and then they're not going to do anything with it. They just want a number and that's it. You know what I mean? They're just curious, which are good leads as well, as long as you keep with them and find really great ways to bring value to them. So, that's something that I would consider and think about when you're doing these things. So now if someone's telling me to text them, I go, okay, I can text you. However, I would love to give you some more information and showcase, the comps that I'm using. Are you available for a quick call? It's not going to take any longer than 10 minutes. If you're interested in finding the value, then just let's set up a quick call. No, I can't. Please text me. Okay, well, it doesn't work like that. Remember, you're the agent. You're controlling how the information is flown. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I would really keep in mind. So you control the information. It's just like when you go on a listing appointment or a buyer showing. You're the one that controls everything. And if you mess up, no one really knows unless you do a big mess up, right? But if you just mess up by not saying a certain script, no one knows. And the only person that knows that you messed up is yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when people are asking, hey, can you give me a valuation through text? Hey, unfortunately, you could just say, hey, I would love to. However, I think it's as a home seller, it's really good to know a little bit more than just the number and what contributes to this number. Are you available for a quick call? Call won't be longer than 5 minutes, or I just need a little bit
Okay.
more information about your home. I pulled up the report. I just need a little bit more information about your home to give you an exact number. Are you available for a quick call?
I get some people that they text me and then it says like in capital letters, no phone call. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh.
And then you'd be like, hey, you know what? I totally understand. Well, there's a lot more information that I need. So, I'm not here to give you a random number that doesn't make sense. I'm here to give you an accurate number, which is what you're looking for. Isn't that right? You know what I mean? You kind of like position them. And you know what? You're not going to get everyone. If they're going to say no and they're going to say fuck you, then bye. They're losers anyways. Because realistically, no one is going to be that rude to someone over text message or whatever. And if they are, from my experience, they just need the number because they're getting out of there or they're listing their house with someone, right? Think about this. When you go somewhere to a store or wherever, you have to talk to someone for a quick, like 3 minutes just to figure out what you're looking for. You know what I mean? So I feel like some people, are probably like that now, but I would circle back to them, or you can give them a conservative number and let them know, hey, this is a conservative number. I don't think this is the true evaluation just because I don't have enough information. I'm not here going to tell you a high number of something I can't achieve or something that the market can't bear. You know what I mean?
Yes, I get kind of so confused because I'm like, how can you be so rude to somebody that you're asking free information from
Because
that you
they're
don't
behind
even know?
they're behind the
Yeah.
computer screen. That's why. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't worry too much about things like that. But remember, these are online leads, right? So you're getting people that don't know you, and that's why they're feeling rude. right? Because they don't know you, they're never going to meet you, they don't care, and they're just being super impatient and rude. And that's okay, right? The thing is it's lead genning. So you're going to start finding people that are not going to be in like your target fit or someone that's going to be your target fit, right? So it's just a numbers game at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's very true.
But I wouldn't worry too much about that. And I would just try to get them over the phone. And if they don't want you, hey, no problem. I'm going to give you a number, but this is like a conservative number. And, I think I can raise this value price, but I just need to have a quick conversation to figure out more about your house. Like, it makes sense. And if someone's going to tell you to fuck off after that, then they have a problem. And we just can't take it seriously and just move on to the next lead.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I wouldn't get too caught up on that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been kind of, I've been getting a lot of people doing the same thing. Not so much like, yes, rudeness, but I've been getting a lot more people now. Like, I find that it comes in waves. I find like maybe in a week or two, you're not getting the great traction that we all want. But then I feel like it all comes in seasons and waves, right? Where it's like, okay, they're seeing a lot of houses. People are getting curious. Now the search engine or the search queue gets, filled, the AI starts doing its thing and then starts trying to book appointments, right? So, you're just kind of waiting for the right people come in. That's how I see it. And you're going to get some. Like, I have a listing from Meskula right now. That's on the market. I have offer presentations today, so I'll see what happens. And then I have another one that I just signed and it's coming out on June 20th. So, and these are people that like at first, the first one they wanted to move. So that was a little bit easier. But the second one was like a hard no, didn't want to do anything, was telling me that he was staying in the house for another 10 years. And then I really challenged him. I just said, hey, listen, like, you're already at the most value your house is going to be without starting to spend money on it. So the question is, if you love that spot so much, then do the upgrades. But if you're thinking of getting a whole different product, I think now's the time. And then he kept thinking about it and then started showing him houses. And now we got the paperwork signed. So it's just the way that you position things. You know what I mean? But is there any other like objections or any other feedback that anyone here has been getting and that's, been kind of stumping them or being a little bit hard?
I've had something. How you doing, Nick? It's Chris.
Hey, I'm good, bro. How are you?
I've had a lot of people come in and then disqualify right away by saying, sorry, mistake, because I guess they see, the logical explanation to me is that they see it's like not what they thought it was in the immediate report. So they say, sorry, mistake, or not interested.
Yep.
I guess when they say not interested, you kind of can't contact them because then you're putting yourself at a little bit of risk. Is that correct?
No.
Where they say, don't contact
I live in
me
the
or
gray.
whatever.
I live in the gray, right?
Okay,
So
perfect.
So what I do in those things is this is how it is personally. If you're calling someone and being rude, then you're going to probably get in trouble depending on who you're talking to and if they're going to report you, right? But if you're coming from the contribution of like, let's say Chris, you came on and I go, hey Chris, how you doing? It's actually Nick Moretti. They're going to be like, who? And I'm going to be like, yeah, you were actually the person that came into, our ad just to wondering about the home assessment. And I'm assuming that you're not interested because you kind of thought that it was just going to shoot a computer screen or generated number. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you felt that way, but I just wanted to call you because this is something that's non-invasive. And I know that you're kind of just looking for information. And my goal is just to give you this information. It's not a sales call. So I actually pulled up your listing and I did a little bit of research and I would love to share the insight that I have. Do you have a quick little, few moments that I can talk to you about that? Yes. And then go through with it, just like you would do with doing a call.
Okay. So just kind of jump into it and put their guard down.
That's what I would do, right?
Not interested or whatever.
Yeah. Right. Because it's not at the end of the day, you're giving them free information. At the end of the day, they're curious to know how much their house is. So if you're calling them and you're being, super genuine and super nice, right? Then they have no reason to be a dick, right? Some people might, but that's just them being losers and that's okay because, that's them. That's totally cool. But, if you're coming from contribution, no one should really get upset.
Okay. And what about one other thing I've had a lot of recently is, well, not a lot, but a few is people with saying that it's not their home, it's their family's home and they're just curious.
Yeah.
Like my parents' home or whatever.
Yeah. So, and then you've checked on Geo and their name's not there?
Yeah.
So I would just say, hey, no, I totally understand. It's great that you're looking out for your parents or your family. I'd love to learn a little bit more about your family's home so I can help you give you an evaluation online. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. When are you available for a quick call? Or if you're on the phone with them, be like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, I know that you're asking for a family member, but can you give me a little bit more information? And as you're going back and forth with questions, then, once you get near that value amount, be like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, I really appreciate you giving me all this info, but are they thinking of making a move, or, are they just kind of curious about valuation? They're probably going to say curious about valuation. But one of my lines that I use all the time that's really, really nice is I go, okay, so I understand that they're looking for just a valuation, but let me ask you a question. If there was a good timing in the marketplace where you're making a lot of money on your home, would they consider on making the move, or would they consider me doing a house tour just to narrow down that range?
Okay.
I kind of give them
Yeah.
the bait and then kind of letting them know, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
I totally understand you're not looking to sell right now, but let me ask you a question. If there was a trend in the marketplace that I'm seeing that can get you a lot more for your house, would you consider it? Yes, they would. Anyone would, right?
Yeah.
So I've learned, like, it's the way that you position things.
And I guess that helps speed up timelines too. People that are thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be in like whatever, how many months from now. And what I've been doing recently that's been working is just sharing some statistics of where the market is right now versus where it was and how close it is and how, strong the market is, briefly. And people have been like speeding up their timelines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes when I'm going through that kind of, back and forth questions, I usually ask sometimes, hey, is there a certain number that you're thinking of? Because I'll let you know if it's realistic or not. And if it's not, then I can let you know how long, approximately, that you may need to stay there in order to get that. But then I talk about the benefits, right? So, like, here's the benefits. I talk about this. Hey, I totally understand, you want your house to be $2 million. Right now, it's probably worth about 1.5. Totally understand. But this is a few things that you have to consider when you're thinking of these. Do you want a high price but limited options, or do you want a little bit of a lower price but more opportunity? What
Yeah,
does
that's
that
well
mean?
said.
What does that mean? Well, hey, look, I know that at the end of the day, we all got, kind of lucky with COVID. Hopefully we never go through something like that again, obviously. But there was a lot of factors that really drove up price points, right? So yeah, sure, you got crazy number for your house, but guess what? You had to spend crazy numbers for the next house. And also, it was probably a house that you probably didn't love. You know what I mean? Now you may get a little bit less for your house, but guess what you get? Now you get opportunity and now you get time. Now there's much more listings on the marketplace. Now you can go take a look at a house, depending on how it's listed. You can go take a look at the house and come back maybe a week later, and check it out again. Or now you can get something with conditions like a home inspection, right?
Yeah.
So the question is what's really important to you? Is it just the sales price and not having, and having limited choices? Or is it having a little bit less of the house, which obviously, we want the most and we'll get the most in this marketplace. But now you have opportunity to actually find the next house and get a better deal on that. So it's kind of all in leverage. The most important part is you need to buy and sell in the same market,
Yeah.
right?
Because it's all relative, right? With
Exactly.
everybody. Just getting that point across.
Exactly. So how I've been doing it is like, hey, look, right now we're starting to get into that end of spring, beginning of summer market. So right now, if you're thinking of listing your house, it would be in your best interest to list first. Obviously, you have to figure out their scenario first, right? But I'm just giving you a blanket statement here. It would be better to list first right now because we can list. There's a lot of demand. List right now before the inventory starts getting really crazy. Get a really good price point. Get a 90-day closing, and then guess what? In 2 and 3 weeks from now, there's going to be more inventory, which splits up the competition, which means you're going to get a better price. So it's kind of like selling high and then buying for a more competitive, cheaper price. Does that sound good?
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's the way I'm positioning things because it's true. I'm not lying to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
verbiage, right? With their psychology. It's verbiage to get their guard down and then get them to kind of lead themselves into that mind state.
yes, exactly. I totally agree with you. So, and it's just the only way people get to that curious mindset is if you position something really good that they're like, holy shit, what did he just say? Oh shit, there's opportunity. And this part gets even more powerful once you plug in their wants and needs. So, for example, and this is why it's so important to ask questions when you have them on the phone. So, when they're telling you, hey, I want something bigger. Okay, well, what would that do? Is your house just not serving serving you based on square footage now? Has there been any changes in your family? Are you having more people in your house? Yeah, you know what? We're on to our second kid. We would like something with a pool so we don't have to go out as much, and then this is how you would plug it in. Hey, I totally understand that. And that's awesome that your family's growing. Congratulations. And it looks like you're kind of, wearing a shoe that's too small for your foot now, right? Because you're growing, which is amazing. But what I can tell you is right now more than ever, we're kind of going into that marketplace, that trend in the market where there's a much more inventory. And once there's much more inventory, there's more competitive price points that can happen. And if you're looking for something with bigger square footage and with a pool, now more than ever is where you're going to see those properties. So that's kind of like, even me saying this, I'm already like, oh, okay, like that sounds cool. You know what I mean? So it's all about the way that you position it and not being too wordy, straight to the point and sounding like you're just packaging the thought. You know what I'm saying? And then I always like to say, if I was able to get you a bigger square foot and with a pool and get you a really good sale price for your house and a really good competitive price for your new house, would you consider that? Yes, you would, obviously. You know what I mean? Okay, awesome. Well, hey, in order for me to get there, there's a little bit more information I need. Are you available for me to come take a quick tour of your house so I can start piecing your real estate equation together? And what that basically means is, now once I go through the house, I can tell you how much your house is worth, right? And then we can know what that leaves you to purchase. And now we can start figuring out your real estate equation. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect. Yeah.
It does. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm getting in there. But remember, I make it look super easy because I built my business on online leads and I lead gen for 8 years. So if I don't make it look like this, then I'm a shitty agent.
Yeah.
It's just the same conversations over and over again. I've been having the same stations. Sure, there might be certain changes in interest rate conversations or, supply conversation or demand, but everything still stays the same, So once you go through all these conversations, you start figuring out how to package everything much nicer. So I'm going to give you guys a call that I just did like literally just before I came in today. So it was a 13-minute call. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what the house looked like. So it was a house like this in Pickering, super nice house, triple car, 7,000 square feet, right? Cool. Bought this in 2010 for 715. What a steal. And then what I did is I went to go take a look at what's available. So what I usually do is I go on maps here. I see where that house is listed. I pull through and then I basically pull up the same community. So this one's in Liverpool and I pulled up listings that are right by his house, more or less. So I pulled up around these ones here and stuff like that. But this is hard because there's not many triple car garages. You know what I mean? So good thing there was one on his street that just sold last year. And when you get like very higher listings, you have to understand this, those sales don't happen every day, just like, attached homes and semis and single car homes. So I usually like to go about a year and a half because I don't want to miss a listing that may have just sold 7 months ago and I'm only pulling up the first 4 months because I've learned in those conversations, they're like, oh yeah, like one of the houses just recently sold. And it's like, oh, I think a month ago. It's like, no, it's been almost a year. You know what I mean? And the market was totally different. So then I brought the comps up. I kind of talked to him about it. So I'm going to play the call so you guys can hear it. Okay.
Hey, D1, how are you?
I'm fine.
That's good. It's just Nick Murray giving you a shout. How's your morning going today?
Yeah, not bad.
Living the dream too?
Well, I work from home, so.
So you're living the dream.
So I always try to ice break. I'm like, for me, the type of person I am, I like to joke around. I like to not take things too seriously. I like to be chill and have a good vibe. That's just how I am.
That's not bad. Well, hey, I just want to take a moment just to thank you, for taking the call with me today. Just want to let you know this is more like an information session. This is not a sales call or anything like that. So just want to let you know, okay? I've done the homework on...
And then disarming the bomb. Okay, I made him laugh. He's going to give me a minute of his time. Letting him know, hey, this is just an information session. This is not a sales call by any means. I need to disarm this bomb to give me some time. So letting them know that, hey, I'm just a friend calling. Just letting them know that, like, I'm just going to give you the information you requested. And that's pretty much it.
On the property. And I just have a few more questions. I see that you gave us some good detail about what you've done to the house, which is amazing. But I'm going to go over some of the information that I have. And if you're okay, I can talk to you a little bit more about some of the upgrades you've done and then kind of help you find out where that value is.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So I saw that you're on 201 Ave or 1201 Abbey. I grew up in Pickering. I was in...
So remember, we're in the business of, sales, right? Sales is all about storytelling, right? You don't like go on and on about a story, but it's all about storytelling and connecting with that story. So he lives in Pickering. I grew up in Pickering. So obviously, what would you want to hear if you're getting a home assessment? Someone that knows the area. So these are little subtle ways that I'm doing in this call that is giving them like a verification check mark on their end. Okay, he's local. He knows the area. Okay, perfect. Continuing on,
Rosebank, so you're in Liverpool over there, so great area. I see it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom. Above ground, do you have like just over 3,500 square feet, or do you have 4,000 above ground, not including the basement?
Basement is huge, so even above ground will be close to 4. Yeah.
4. So yeah, so you're probably at like 7,000 square feet at least.
Yeah, I mean, if you include the basement, I don't know actually why the basement is not large basement.
Yeah.
You can fit a normal single detached house in Toronto in our basement.
Maybe two, because they're small down there.
Yeah,
Right.
the footprint of the house is exactly the same size of the basement.
Nice.
Including, if you look at the ground floor, I have a solarium extension.
Yeah.
And that extension actually goes down to the basement. And the basement, the whole basement is finished.
Okay, cool.
And one thing I forgot is it is also what do you call waterproofing. So
Okay, so you waterproofed all the sides?
Yeah, and it's a very special waterproofing, kind of expensive. So it lets the water come in instead of blocking, because that's what they told me, that if you block it, it creates a pressure and then actually
it creates cracks, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And so what they did, there is a special system. It let the water in a special way and drain out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually create the pressure, which creates a crack and then ultimately it fails.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So it essentially uses like the weeping towel system, essentially, just to keep pushing things out, essentially, just to make sure that it gets dry.
That's why
and then it's also
it never gets flooded.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, so that's really good to have, and thank you for letting me know. Yeah, because your house is built in 1983, so it's, as long as you keep it like you're doing, like it's going to be such a great house, right? So I totally understand that. And I see you have a separate entrance and stuff like that, which is really cool. I see, like, going from the notes, you basically have the large solarium, the large backyard with the swimming pool, pond, and pool house, which is kind of cool. And then you put new heating and new hot water. Is any of those the rental, or is just the hot water tank a rental?
Both are new and both are not.
Okay, good job. Good job. Yeah. And then do you have 200 or 300 amp service for your house?
I think it's 200.
Okay, cool. And then you just did the roof last year on the house and the pool house, is that right?
Yeah. Both.
Nice. That's awesome. Now, have you done any, because like on the listing, right, since you purchased it back in 2010, and on the MLS listing, there's not many photos at all, because once the listings get a little bit longer, right, like it's been done in a while, they kind of take away some of the photos. So I can't really see a lot. I definitely know the area, and I think where you are, you're on the end of a court, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's on the cul-de-sac.
So I'm asking questions that is very self-explanatory, but you need to ask questions. If you're just very dry, you're not going to ever get further from these leads, or you're going to miss a lot of opportunities that you're spending money to get leads. So remember, ask simple questions. It doesn't have to be super hard, just simple questions, connecting. In this call, I've already been on the call for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, right? So as you can see, we've been going like back and forth of just having a real conversation, So just consider that when you're doing these calls.
Yes, which is really, really nice. Have you done any upgrades inside the house?
Not really. I mean, it's all finished and nothing is technically needed.
Okay.
It'd be luxury to add it, but we don't really need that.
Yeah. No, and I'm just asking because, like I said, I can't see a lot of photos in there, so I'm just asking, just so I'm not, missing any information or anything like that. So when I was looking at some of the comps, I went, because your house is very specific, right? And I'm not pulling, I do this for 8 years full time. I've been ranked in the top 100 in Durham region, and I work with Keller Williams. So I was ranked in the top 20 in Canada last year, number 16. So I know how to really assess homes. So I didn't pull other comps that doesn't make sense, right? So I just pulled in Liverpool, and I went all the way to last year because there's not many triple car garages that sell or more. You know what I mean?
No, this is the problem of this, uniqueness and the problem comparing with the comparables.
So perfect. When he's saying this, I'm like, okay, awesome. I'm going to get this appointment now.
It's because the Liverpool houses are totally different. except these little pockets in the Abbey Road enclave.
There's one that sold on Abbey last year in August.
This is why it's important to have the comps right in front of you, because look, I'm already giving him that information. How do you think that makes him feel? It makes him feel like, okay, he's talking to someone who's competent, who knows the market, and he's giving me the information that I want.
That one sold for 1905, and then right after that there was one on Canterbury that sold for about just under 2 mil, 1950. Recently, well, there hasn't really been too much that sold this year. The ones that sold, super high this year are the ones that are more newer 3 or 4 car garages, by Kingsdale. You know where that is, on Kingsdale over there. One of those just sold for 2.5. So, which is really good. And then there's been some more other ones that, like there's been one on Frontier, but it's a little bit more newer, but still triple car garages. And that one was selling for about 2.2, right? But the difference compared to the newer construction compared to yours is obviously like, I personally like the ones that are built a little bit older because I find that they build it right. Do you know what I mean? I find with the new construction home, unless you're the custom builder, meaning that you hire a custom builder to do the finishings for you and like build the house. That's a little different, right? But if you're just getting through new build, most builders are just trying to cut costs and try and charge premium price points. You know what I mean? So with your house, it looks like you put a lot of good money to make sure the foundation good. It sounds like it's pretty upgraded inside the house. You're on a very specific area in Liverpool, which is going to bring you more money. So I think what I could do to help you out if you're open to it is, like I said, since I can't see the photos as much, I don't know if you'd be open for me to coming by and taking a tour of the house. Doesn't mean that anything's going to happen, obviously. Like I said, it's more of an information session, but at least I can assess your house properly because, I don't want to be too conservative with the online assessment because I can't see the whole house. And just like, a mechanic needs to see the car and a doctor needs to see the patient, I think that you would learn a lot from me just showing you some of the comparables and then me seeing what the finishes look like inside and then comparing, and then I can give you a real accurate price because I think that would be really good for you.
Okay, is it going to cost?
No. It's just me coming through. I don't charge anything for home assessments. I don't feel agents should because it's just kind of an opinion, and it's more so of me just kind of taking a tour, getting to know you a little bit, and then showing you the comparables that I'm seeing, and then I can put the price point together. And then whenever you choose to take advantage of it, you choose to take advantage of it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you'll meet a friend, and I'll leave a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no problem. And my question would be the evaluation of that you would give, is it usable somewhere? Like it has an...
So yeah, are you looking to do a refinance or something?
Not like that, but we do have some plans to about our principal house. So we didn't really think about anything. The only thing that I might need, and I know bank always do their own appraisal.
Exactly.
In their mind, my house price is what it's in 2010.
Yeah.
They never actually changed that, which affects my mortgage and everything else.
Yeah, it's actually good. So I think what you're looking at is more like the property tax valuation, and those property tax valuations are always going to be lower. You don't want that to come up because the more it comes up, the more property taxes you pay, right?
Yeah.
But so what this number will allow you to do is allow you to know what's happening in the market and what your house is priced in today. So then what you can do with that is start future planning, what you want to do. If you're thinking of selling your principal residence, in some sort of timeline, then this will help you figure out what it is. So when I come in there and I say, hey, your house is worth X amount, then you can start piecing your real estate equation together. Okay, we can sell and get X amount. Now, what does that leave us to buy? Where do we want to go, right? Like, what is happening? Where's the next opportunity
that's
for
what
money?
I was referring before. So we do have a plan in next 5 years to do something like this. It's been here almost 14 years. So another 5 years will be 20. I will be obviously over 55. So at that point, we not necessarily downsize, but it's just this property. You don't have too many people living in the house. So kind of too big for us.
It's kind of big, yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a mansion essentially, right, with two people.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mistake to buy this gigantic house, but now it's also a blessing because I can actually leave mortgage free.
Yeah, you're living, yeah, totally. But that's the thing, right? Like when you purchase a house, it's always, a hard thing to do because you're spending a lot of money and you want to make sure you made the right decision. But what I can tell you, it was really good that you purchased an Abbey, and especially the type of house you have, because there's a lot of blended families nowadays looking to live into homes like that is actually done and taken care nicely. And it also holds your value, right? Like, so you did a great job purchasing this, especially for, 715 back in 2010. Like, you killed it.
Yeah.
You did a great job. So what I can do is, I don't know if you're available in the next coming weeks, but if you are, then I can come by, take a tour. I'll leave you a booklet and stuff just to showcase, the comps, what the market stats look like, and how to position your house to get top dollar one-time comp.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my calendar. So, how long it's gonna take, roughly?
I would say less than like 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay, and that
Doesn't take too long.
Next Tuesday after 2 o'clock, I'm at home.
Okay, so next Tuesday at 2.
And Wednesday also after 2:30, I'm at home. Tuesday looks much cleaner.
Apologies. Sorry, Dewan.
Sorry, I'm cutting off.
Yeah, sorry. I think it's me. My apologies.
Yeah, it's Tuesday after 2 o'clock. I'm free.
Yeah.
And does that work for you? Or
do you want to do 3 o'clock on Tuesday, on June 11th?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'll come see you then. This is my office number. So once I finish this call, I'm going to text you on my direct number, okay? Just because I'm not always at my office. So if you need anything at all, just send me a text or call me. And then I can, help you out with anything else if anything comes up. But in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool. My pleasure. Keep living the dream, okay?
Okay, thanks. Bye.
And thanks for not hanging up on me. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, take
Okay, that's it. So I have that for Tuesday, and it's probably a $2 million sale. So that's pretty cool. So obviously I don't have it yet, but one step in the right direction, giving them the information and kind of going from there. So that's basically it. But yeah, interest rates just cut over here 0.25%. So that's nice. But what do you guys like about the call? Anything that you guys can adopt to yours? Like, remember, I'm here for you guys. So, whatever you guys need, just let me know. Crickets. So you guys are all booking appointments?
Well, this is Ali. Yeah, no, I picked up a few things. So the idea of breaking the ice, that appeals to me. I mean, that's everybody tries to do that, but if you can find dependable go-to phrases and concepts, which you can throw in, and then which are general, everybody picks up. So that was good.
Yeah.
Not a sales call. Disarm them. There is no he was not sure whether there's costs. So you never know what they know and what they're expecting. So what your expectations are, etc. So that's very good. Help you find where the value is. I think that's a good one to use.
Yeah.
So hang on to those. The storytelling is good. Make the connection, whether you're Mississauga or whether I grew up here or I know this, or I'm in and out of these houses, or our team has sold, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Go over the upgrades, the comps logic, the uniqueness. So so this is a question which comes up, and I've actually was trying to write it down, which I have said, okay, so when you talk about when somebody says they want some information and you're not sure how much time you must spend on that. So I think I heard you saying this, or somebody else said, hey, the first call, you don't have to invest too much time because you're not sure whether it's going to work. So because there's souls information, which is the comps, the historical comps, then there are the current listings, then there's geo. And if you put all these things and you want to create a story and the positioning part that you talk about, I realize that is because everyone has their own story. You've got to adapt and then give them the value as to how they should go forward. So that is another thing I picked up. So how would you approach the amount of time you invest?
Yeah. So I try not to do a whole assessment. So if I have a call, like it takes me now like 10 minutes or less to get the comps, the past listing, seeing what's available, both off market, like what's sold and what's available on the marketplace. So obviously when you have more of a rural property or something very specific, it takes a little bit more time, but I would say it takes me about less than 10 minutes. I don't really like, I try not to even do an online assessment for people who can't commit and have a quick conversation with me.
Yes.
So this is what I say though. So, hey, I understand that your time is, super limited, but let me ask you a question. If you were able to chat with me over the phone and I gave you a really good price based on what the market's doing, would you consider giving me a moment of your time? Yes, you would. So there you go. That's what I would be saying.
Okay. All right. No, yeah. So basically, you qualify them for what their level of interest and commitment is. Yeah, they are not tie kickers. They are they're not.
I don't
They're
even
people.
mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't
Yes.
mind tire kickers. Tire kickers are perfect because they're just looking for information and they want someone to give them information, right? But it's more so the people that are just coming in saying, "Hey, no, not interested. Can you just give me a number? I'm too busy." You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, so they don't see the value. They see that I'm annoying right now. So the way that you have to do it is like, hey, I totally understand where you're coming from, but let me ask you a question. If you gave me, if we had a quick conversation and I was able to assess your house at a really good number, would you give me a moment of your time? Yes, you would. Okay, when are you available for a quick call? Or when are you available for a quick fact finding call?
Yeah, that's a nice way of qualifying them.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's like, if I could give you the money, would you give me your time? Yes, you would. Okay, so shut up and give me your time.
Yes. No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. I like the phrase value or annoyance.
Yes.
You could say it with a laugh, like make a joke out of it, but
Yes.
then you're putting them on the spot that, hey, my time is
Exactly.
as valuable as yours. What's it going to be? So that
Yeah.
and then, allow me to be completely honest with you. That's the best way. I want to leave here with my integrity intact. I don't know where I picked that up from, but I like that line.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you could also go one step further before I get to veneer, but you can go one step further. Hey, listen, I understand you're busy. I understand that you have a lot of things to do, but you have to understand that we're all humans, and the life that we live right now, everyone is crazy busy. But all I'm asking is for a moment of your time because I'm here to help you out. And if I was able to qualify you on a really high number, I'm sure that you would find that interesting, wouldn't you? Right? So like, we have to understand, like, what are people going to give us time about? They're going to give us time about money, right?
Yes.
They're going to give us time about, really good opportunities that no one is telling them. So another way is positioning them. So that's kind of what I would say. Like, hey, I understand that you don't have any time, but if I was able to give you a really high number, learn more about your house and give you a really high number, would you consider letting me have a moment of your time?
Yeah. Okay. If I was able to, and then, you throw in whether it's the number, whether it's whatever the service and whatever. Yeah. I mean, everyone, these are general things that they want the high number, they want the opportunity. So, throw that out because that's that'll get
And
them.
that's why I always say as well, hey, like, just like a mechanic needs to see the car needs to see the mechanic, and a doctor needs to see the patient, I need to have a quick conversation to understand what I'm working with.
Yes. No, I picked that up from you. I've got that mechanic thing
Yeah.
there.
I
And
find
it
that
does
people
work.
understand that the most because everyone has
Yes.
cartfuls, and
Yeah.
unfortunately people go to the doctor, not for bad things,
Yes.
but so
Yeah.
people can
Absolutely.
understand that mentality. And it's all about the storytelling is all about relating to someone.
Yeah. I mean, people are all on a continuum, whether they are more informed about real estate and the DIY types and the know it all types, and the other types who, say, I don't know anything, help me around. So you've got to identify where they are, and then the personality types. Some people like details, some people don't. So,
Exactly.
if you run away with just talking too much, they'll zone out and they'll just cut you off. So you have to be careful. Experience teaches me. There's one thing which I've written down I wanted to ask you, and this is something which, and you may have faced that too. So when you're doing condo apartments and the maintenance fees is very high, that's going to be a barrier in getting too many offers and narrows the market. Are there any arguments that you have picked up over time which says, which are credibly received and which actually, sets you apart from the other guys? Because it is a challenge for a selling agent. You're trying to list a property with $1,000 maintenance fee.
For sure. So I would say, hey, I understand that maintenance fees are high, but buyers have to have an understanding of why the maintenance fees are so high. Usually maintenance fees are high when you have an older building that, reserve funds are low, or they started spending money, or you have a bigger square footage on the unit, which, has to be in line with the maintenance fees. Remember, when we're going to list your property, there's there's a bunch of different ways, but we have to understand what's the listing price? What is a listing price? No, it's not what your client wants. The listing price is a tool to position your property in the right light in order to get, the tractions and the numbers that we need to sell your house at top dollar.
Yes.
So to answer your question, we just have to position your house properly. We have to know what the good things are about your condo, the bad things about your condo, and how we're going to position our property in line with the marketplace to hog the attention, to bring as many buyers to us, to give them our price point, like to put offers down, and then I'm going to squeeze them.
Because in condos there's limited opportunity for differentiation, because you might have minimal layout differences, but they're more or less the same. So it's pretty dependable that if you look at the comps in the building, it's easy to compare them and to see, okay, this is my thing is, if they have it and you don't, it's a minus for you. If you have it and they don't, and then how much can you improve the inside? I said, yeah, but that does make a difference. So we forget the upgrades, etc. It is what it is. I mean, there's layout, you cannot. So that's where I talk about all those things and say, how to attract buyers. And you've said a good thing, that you're setting aside the listing price is a tool. So that's a nice way
our sell price.
Yeah, to describe it and to characterize what the listing price is.
And if you go into an appointment and you're saying things like that, they're going to be like, holy shit, who is this person? But I'm going to answer Manveer's question because I know that he's been waiting for a little bit, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, Ali?
No, I'm fine with it. Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, Manveer, feel free.
Hey, Nick. I had a question about when you're going to a listing appointment, like a meeting, whether it's the first time, second time, and like, I guess two things. One is if there's a process that you go through, like steps that you go through with the seller to kind of be consistent and make sure that whole meeting goes well. And if there's any material that you bring, I've been seeing these booklets. I've been seeing that kind of stuff. So
Okay, so what do you do now, if you don't mind me asking? And this is not putting you on the spot. I'm just asking.
Well, I've only been to a couple so far, so I usually will just go over. First, I'll kind of talk to them, introduce myself, build some rapport. Find something to relate to. Walk on the house. Make notes of things that I could recommend them to work on. I'll then sit down, kind of talk about what their timeline is, what they expect from the house, how fast they want to move, why they want to move, if I haven't already talked about that, any other barriers they have, and anything we need to be aware of. And then I kind of go over the process of selling. I have a basic little booklet thing that my brokerage gave us, and then I will go over kind of myself, my brokerage, the different things we can do, marketing wise, what we can like that.
Yeah, no, I get it. Sorry. So, okay, perfect. So you're on the right track. What I can tell you that I do differently is this. So before I go to the appointment, I bring three things from me. This is what I bring. I bring a nice hardcover book. Okay. Here, I'll show you an example. One second. So I bring a nice hardcover book, like something like this. And I just ordered another one that's a little bit more upscale for myself. So anyways, I bring them a hardcover book. This is the book that I'm leaving for them for the home assessment. Okay. So that's where my listing presentation is. Right. And my listing presentation has, just more information about me, some of the stuff about staging, whatever, market stats, comparables, and then testimonials. So I bring that book. I also bring a folder. The folder is going to have the Geo Warehouse. It's going to have the comps that I bring, just the MLS broker copy, not the photos. And then it'll bring, I'll have all the listing docs. You should always have listing docs ready because, what I find is maybe they're not going to sign on that first one, but when you're going again, you already have all the documents printed out. So you don't have to go to the office and print things out. You just take it and go. You know what I mean? So I find that helps me and especially saves me some time. And then I also bring a past sales book. So my past sales books for listings are this thick. So near the end, I go through, let's see if I'm qualified to sell your house. Yes, I know I am, but here's some of my recent sales. And then I go through it. And then, I only go through a couple and then I just show them how many I've done. Right. So that's what I bring. So once I go into the house, this is what I would say. So let's say, Manveer, I'm going to your house. Okay, Manveer, thank you so much for taking the opportunity. Let me come by today. So, let's start off. Why don't you give me a tour of the house? And if you do really well, then I'll see if I can hire you for my team and maybe you can be a real estate agent. And I just laugh, right? So then easy way to break the ice. They're going to give me the tour of the house. During the tour, this is where I'm going to start building, more of a relationship. So, oh, hey, I love that. And then when I'm in the house, I'm looking at everything that a buyer would. Oh, okay, you have nice crown molding. You have updated flooring. Really like the vibe here. Really like the paint choice that you've made, right? If it's a house that doesn't have all those great upgrades, then, I still talk about the good features that the house have, right? And all that kind of stuff. Then I get to the table, then I kind of go through the book, have a conversation with them, go through the comps, after I go through the book, what I usually like to say is like, so I know what market value is for your house, but is there a certain number that you're looking to have or looking to get? The good ones will say, I don't know, I'm thinking of what you're thinking. But if you build enough relationship and they trust you, you'll have people that tell you their number right up front. And this is good to know because it's basically playing poker. You need to know what they're like, everyone's holding their cards to see what the number is. So if someone can tell you, like, let's say you think the evaluation is 1.1 to 1.2 and the seller wants 1.3, then you can say, hey, well, you know what? I think that your price is just a little too aggressive. And then you can pivot, right? Because if I throw my number and I say 1.1, 1.2, and they think 1.3, they're not going to listen to anything else I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So those are good things to figure out. And then, that's why in my book, my comps book, I bring properties that are similar, properties that are better, and properties a little bit less. So then if they go, oh, well, I want 1.3, 1.4. Oh, okay. Well, hey, let me show you what recently sold for 1.3, 1.4. Well, this has an extra garage. This is much more move-in ready. This has a bigger square footage. So you can get that number, but you're going to have to just sit in the house and wait until that number comes to you. But remember, this is what you're missing. This is what you have more options compared to COVID. Yes, and then this goes back to the price, right? Yes, you can get a crazy price point, but guess what? You're spending crazy money and limited choices. Now you're taking a little bit less on your house, but now you have opportunity to find better products. And what I can tell you is that not last year, but this year, there are some really nice listings coming out on the market. And based on what you're telling me, what you're looking for, I mean, at the end of the day, you just want to buy and sell in the same marketplace. And what I would want more than money right now is opportunity, because money is money, right? A house is worth what it's worth, but you need to find the next opportunity where you want to call the place to call home. And if there's not much prospects, guess what? You're not moving. But if there's a lot of prospects and you can get a really good number for your house and better price for the new house, it makes sense. It's a slam dunk.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very, very true.
So I just kind of position things, but the thing is like I do a lot of transactions. I see a lot of firsthand, so I can see what the market's doing. And I've gone through hundreds of listing appointments. So like I know what that listing appointment's going to be like. So it's easier for me to talk and come with confidence when I'm doing it because I already know what that's going to entail. And then be like, hey, so if you want 1.3, this is kind of what I would suggest, right? If you want to do it, I would suggest maybe doing upgrades. But this is the thing. If you're going to do upgrades into your house, what is that going to do? That's going to take your blood, sweat, and equity, right? Blood, sweat, and tears. So you're going to use your resources, you're going to use time, and it's also going to raise your bottom line on your price point, right? Why wouldn't you just sell your house? Let's get as much money as possible. I'll get my stagers in. I'll get, if you need repairs, depending on what the repairs are, I'll get someone to take care of that. And then we list it. But what I would recommend is spending money on your new house because that's where you're going to use the enjoyment. There's been times where my clients didn't listen to my, professional advice. They've done the upgrades. Now they missed the market. Now they spent more money in the house and now they're pissed off. So remember, you got to listen to the professional. This is what the professional is telling you.
So then if they want like a little bit more than what they could get for the house and they're kind of not really budging on that, do you kind of push into it or you just kind of like let them be?
So I just go, listen, at the end of the day, like if I can get you $2 million, I'll get you $2 million all day, right? But we have to understand that the market is a live market, just like a live stock. So it really just depends on the next listings that sell. But what I can tell you where we are in the market trends is coming into the summer market. What happens with the summer market? More inventory comes to the marketplace. Now, what happens when there's more inventory that comes to the marketplace? Price comes down because buyers are not limited in options anymore. Like I was telling you about opportunity, buyers are seeing opportunity right now, right? So that's kind of where I lead into that. And do you see how like easy and smooth people, it is? If you want to try to get as much price point as possible, I would suggest there's 3 different strategies we can use, but I would suggest this strategy, right? So 3 different strategies. We can list a little bit higher, know that we're going to sit on the market, not get as much showings, and know that when an offer comes in, we're going to get negotiated down. Or list just below market value to try to get 2 offers and get a little bit higher. Or what we can try first is doing a holding offer strategy, see what happens. And if we sell on that date, great. If not, we terminate and resubmit near market value.
Right. Okay. Okay. I see.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
my personal opinion, I would probably do the holding offers first, depending on where the price point is, right? Anything under $1 million, I think it's good to hold offers first and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Yeah. I'll mention that to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Thanks.
that's
Yeah.
pretty much it, you know?
Yeah,
But,
that's good.
yeah, no problem. Well, does anyone have any last minute questions before we log off and you guys start, making some sales and getting some appointments done? Everyone's pretty good. Okay. Well, happy selling, everyone. If you guys need any questions, just let me know. Hit me up on Moretti Real Estate on Instagram. And happy selling, and let's go get it. So have a great day, everyone.